It's great to have you join us on this special report on Arcn television, Mabuja, Abuja, Nigeria, your first agricultural television. My name is Bilkis Sulaiman. 16th October yearly is celebrated globally as the World Food Day. And this year's celebration with the theme, Water is Life, Water is Food, Leaves No One Behind, attracted activities such as work sensitization, a ministerial briefing, and visitation to the farm cluster within the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja. A 4-kilometer walk and sensitization led by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Ernest Umakehe, was embarked upon to celebrate the day. World Food Day is celebrated to raise awareness on the nature and dimension of the global food system and to heighten worldwide effective action to end hunger, malnutrition, and poverty by ensuring food availability, accessibility, and affordability.
Organized by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in collaboration with the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, OSFAM, and other stakeholders in the agricultural sector by demonstrating our commitment of ensuring our nation is food and nutrition secured. Dear Patriots, I wish to refresh your mind that the World Food Day, as we all know, was conceived during the 20th General Conference of the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations in 1945. This year marks the 43rd edition of the event and 78th anniversary of the founding of FAO in the city of Quebec, Canada on 16th August 1945. Nigeria, as the topmost agrarian country in West Africa, joined the celebration of the World Day in 1981 with more than 150 member countries to raise public awareness on the nature and dimension of the global food system and heighten worldwide effective action to end hunger, malnutrition, and poverty, thereby ensuring that food is available, accessible, and affordable for the citizens of Nigeria. You are aware that the theme for the World Food Day each year revolves around agriculture to signal stakeholders in food supply to make food available to the citizenry for sustainable economic development. The theme for this year's World Food Day is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. We urge everybody to establish farms to increase food production for food and nutrition security and livelihood income. This urgent clarion call to all citizens of Nigeria and global partners to embrace farming using available means within your home and global pandemic, as well as the challenging economic realities. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us gather here today for work and sensitization is not just for gathering to mark the 2023 World Food Day in Nigeria, but we should continuously and diligently sensitize Nigerians, including yourselves here, to start little farming, even with small income, and grow big to feed the teeming population of over 200 million Nigerians in search of food every day, despite our agricultural endowment. My colleagues, take home the message in this year's work and sensitization, which is that all must go to farm, so that next year we shall visit your farm to mark the World Food Day as testimony and way forward towards delivering on the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, centered on massive food production and attaining food security. Let me quickly remind you that agriculture is one of the most important sector of the Nigerian economy with huge potentials, which necessitated the new reform centered on food security, driven by you and I, to determine what needs to change and what we need to do to increase food production in line with 4 priorities of the 8-point agenda focusing on sustainable food security, creation, poverty reduction, and youth and women empowerment. Distinguished Nigerians and development partners, the fact remains that if the country must be food secured and food system sustainable, we must all prepare to invest massively in agriculture and rise to the call against looming food crisis.
Representative of the Action, Andrew Memedu, a collaborating body with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, shared goodwill messages. He expressed appreciations to the farmers.
To say, oh, if you have eaten today, thank a farmer. And I'm sure everybody in this room, at least from yesterday to today, would have had a meal, one meal or the other. And that is because food is one of the most essential things about life. And the theme for this year's program, water is life, water is food, leave no one behind, cannot be more apt. And at ActionAid, we are working round the clock to ensure that the over 130 million Nigerians that are living in multidimensional poverty, they have access to food and potable water. 2/3 of Nigerians do not have access to potable water. And water is life. There are lots of things that needs to be done. And this morning we were on TV, live TV program Kataki, and we're talking about from the global level and international level to local level, community level, things that needs to happen. One of the things that came out strongly was the issue of the Lake Chad Basin, recharging of the Lake Chad Basin. It will cost us $50 billion, Honorable Minister, to recharge that. But every month, on the average, every month, over that amount is spent in prosecuting the war between Russia and Ukraine. And the global community is committed to supporting that, one way or the other, either each side of the divide. But so the global community can as well come together to commit to supporting the recharge of the Lake Chad Basin. And that would affect between 30 to 50 million people. These are human beings that have been displaced because the Lake Chad has reduced by 90%. So clearly, these are clear actions for us, global action that we are pushing for, and we will join the ministry. We'll keep collaborating with the ministry to push for issues of right to food, right to water as ActionAid. Our work from the community to national, working with partners like Oxfam and other organizations to do this, working side by side with the ministry to ensure that food is guaranteed in Nigeria. So on behalf of ActionAid, I say thank you very much for this program, and we hope that at the end of the day, the government pays more attention in delivering food security to its citizens, which is a right as has been signed into law. Thank you very much.
The head of office, Food and Agricultural Organization Northeast, Al-Hassan Sisi, also gave a goodwill message.
We must not take water for granted. We must work together to manage a finite, precious resources. This year, World Food Day celebrates one of the planet's most precious resources, water. It's essential to life on Earth. It covers the majority of the planet's surface, make up over 50% of our bodies, helps keep us fit, support livelihood, and is central to achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the Sustainable Development Goals. So how should we approach the complex challenge of shielding our existing freshwater resources and aquatic food system from pollution and the impacts of the climate crisis while ensuring that people have equal access to water? With about 70% of all fresh waters going to agriculture, changing the way we produce our food, fiber, and other agricultural products is the most critical task. It is also where failure to act will have the gravest consequences. Fresh water is not infinite, and we need to stop taking it for granted. Consider that over the last 2 decades, each of us on Earth has lost approximately 1/5 of the fresh water available to us. For some people, the reality is much worse. In some regions, in fact, it runs closer to 1/3. Unless we act urgently, we are on course to increase our water use by more than 1/3 by 2050 globally, given our planet's growing population. That means collectively we risk reaching a point of no return. Rapid population growth, urbanization, industrialization, economic development, and the climate crisis have all taken a toll on our water resources. Combined with water pollution, over-extraction, and lack of coordinated management, this creates a complex mix of overlapping challenges. Increased extreme weather events, drought, and flooding are stressing our ecosystems, with doubting consequences for global food security. Smallholder farmers, particularly the poor, women, youth, indigenous people, migrant, and refugee, are the most vulnerable. At the heart of the balancing act to address these combined challenges must be securing sufficient water for agriculture while reconciling the competing water needs of other economic activities, especially as urbanization accelerates. Good governance is crucial for sustainable and equitable water allocation through an integrated and inclusive approach with all partners. Water governance and tenure, water pricing, regulation, and incentive measures are needed to drive change and ensure equitable access to clean and safe water resources. We need to implement integrated water resources management through coordinated development and management of water, land, and related resources to maximize human well-being without compromising the sustainability of vital ecosystems. For this, we need both national and regional designs. Investment in innovative, efficient water management practice is vital, including in modern irrigation and storage technologies and science-based solutions to address water scarcity and harnessing flooding, so that we are building a water-saving and resilient society, including through managing more effectively the water-food-energy nexus. Action on the ground. We can and are working to make these things happen. For example, in the Sahel, FAO is providing mechanization opportunities to farmers to improve their water infrastructure and is supporting rural women and their households to access water. Globally, irrigated land produces 40% of food from 20% of arable land, yet it remains an untapped potential. To help deliver on this potential, FAO is developing a global irrigation need and potential mapping methodology, and we look forward to working with countries to implement it. Appropriate financing mechanism and investment at the right and big scale are key to building and maintaining capital-intensive infrastructure. Resilience-based solutions are key, prioritizing green and blue infrastructure to promote agriculture and fisheries, respectively, can enhance water quality, maintain biodiversity, and provide other benefits to agri-food system and rural areas. In Sri Lanka and Zambia, for instance, FAO is piloting multifunctional paddy field for fish and shrimp farming in addition to rice production. Such value-added infrastructure generates benefit by recharging groundwater, controlling floods, and providing ecosystem services. All actors must be on board. We can and must do more together with all the various actors making their distinct yet interrelated contribution. Governments need to design science and evidence-based policies that capitalize on data and innovation and coordinate actors across sector to plan and manage water better. Water, energy, and food are inextricably linked, and for policy to be successful, it's important they manage often competing interests without compromising the health of our ecosystem. Our farmers need to become agents of water management and be equipped with the right tools to perform that function sustainably. Farmers, forest-dependent people, livestock producers, and those working in the blue economy of fisheries and aquaculture already manage water on a daily basis. Supporting and encouraging them to take leadership in finding and implementing water solutions is both the obvious and the smart things to do. Businesses need to become water stewards. That means making concrete commitment to improving water use, efficiency, and reducing pollution across the supply chain. This doesn't just benefit nature and society, but businesses too. Taking water governance seriously can boost their reputation and profit and help them avoid risk that water scarcity, flood, and pollution could pose to operation in the future. Let me underline again that all of us need to stop taking water for granted. Making informed decisions about the product we buy, wasting less water, and preventing flooding disaster and pollution are easy ways for everybody to contribute to positive action for a future of prosperity for people and the planet. They are central to achieving what we at FAO refer to as the four betters: better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, to ensure no one is left behind.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, welcomed everyone to the second part of the celebration, which is the press briefing, where he called the attention of the public to the need to create awareness and promote mass commitment to increase food production.
Pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the briefing on the occasion of the 2023 World Food Day. As you are all aware, the day is globally commemorated on 16th of October every year around the world to mark the anniversary of the founding of Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations in 1945. The day is a global action devoted annually to strengthen international and national solidarity in the fight to end hunger, malnutrition, poverty, and to further accentuate the need for food and nutrition security. The primary aim of the day's celebration is to escalate public awareness and promote enhanced commitment to increase food production and ultimately combat world hunger and make wholesome food available to everyone. In Nigeria, this day, starting in 1981, is celebrated by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and the Nigerian farmers in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, along with all other FAO member nations. Significantly, the 2023 edition is coming at a time in our national life when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, declared a state of emergency in food security and went a step further to make food security the topmost priority of his 8-point agenda for the country. Each year, the Food and Agriculture Organization comes up with a theme. The theme for this year World Food Day is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. This slogan highlights core objective of the annual event and brings to mind the need to heighten public awareness and action to improve our food systems and alleviate hunger. It underscores the vital role of water in sustaining life on Earth and its fundamental connection to our food sources. Specifically, enhancing food production while preserving our natural resources like water has become critical to ensure sustainable food and nutrition security. However, it is empirically that our planet's water resources are declining due to climatic change, urbanization, and rapid population growth. Such an increasing threat to regular water supply has adversely affected not only food production, but also agricultural livelihoods, with developing countries in particular, bearing a disproportionate burden. The colossal ramifications of climate change, which include incidents of droughts, rainfall variability, and desertification, pose an even greater challenge by putting the planet's water resources under increasing stress in most regions of the world. In line with the above and consistent with the directives of Mr. President, at the declaration of food security emergency, I quote, "There must be an urgent synergy between the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Water Resources to ensure adequate irrigation farmlands and to guarantee that food is produced all year round." Sufficiently, the theme of this year's World Food Day commemoration is apt and timely for Nigeria. I am pleased to inform you that a clear roadmap has been drawn up by the Ministry in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to optimally harness all water resources available in producing areas including river basins, dams, irrigable lands, and all other wetlands for multiple cropping cycles. This renewed synergy and cooperation between our two ministries has started yielding results as assessment and operational appraisal visits to the River Basin Development Authorities has begun in earnest and will be deployed for the 2023-2024 dry season farming of the federal government in conjunction with states and local governments. This will bring with priority crops including wheat, rice, maize, and cassava, with aggressive sustainable plan for upscaling and replicating some of other crops, livestock, fisheries across the Federation. In tandem with the renewed hope agenda of this administration, and as contained in our roadmap of my inaugural media briefing on the 6th of October, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has resolved to reposition agriculture to take its place in national development. On this note, I will use this occasion to reiterate our resolve to partner with all stakeholders who desire to genuinely support the sector and the Nigerian nation to make sustainable measures towards addressing issues impacting the attainment of our national food and nutrition security. In conclusion, I would like to use this opportunity to express our appreciation to the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and other partners, while also acknowledging the Nigerian Agricultural Foundation of Nigeria and all Farmers Association of Nigeria for their immense contributions towards the success of this year's World Food Day. We remain committed to continuous collaboration of strengthening the Nigeria's agricultural sector for enhanced food and nutrition security while contributing to the eradication of poverty. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I profoundly appreciate your committed participation in this address and wish you a memorable World Food Day celebration.
The Honorable Minister listened and answered questions relating to dry season farming, food security, and related issues.
The issue of dry season farming. We have written to all states. The land belongs to the states. The farmers are there in the states, in the local governments. So we here are supporting and a policy maker. We have written to all governors, all 36 governors, including FCT, for interest if they have available land for dry season farming. We have started receiving reports. In fact, I just came back from Jigawa State and Kano a couple of days ago, and we inspected some of the land that is being prepared for the wheat. The wheat comes first, which is in a month's time. And we have pleased to announce that we have seen the preparedness, and which is very high from the part of the Jigawa State government. And in line with also even the theme of this year's World Food Day, we saw a collaboration of both the Federal Ministry of Water Resources through the Hadeja-Jamari River Basin Authority and the Jigawa State Government in dredging a canal, a river, where they dredged, increased the depth of that river from 1 meter to 3.5 meters, and also widened that river by 20 meters on both sides, thereby containing, otherwise that place used to be, for the past almost 10 years, that place was overtaken by flood and also typha grass. But now, because the river is now accommodating the water, there is no flood at all. And that's one of those areas that we are going to go and participate and use that water in the river to irrigate the farmlands. And we have seen, I think we saw, we were told that there are about 15,000 hectares just in that one location we went, which is the town of Guri in Jigawa State. And they intend to dredge over 360 kilometers within the next. So you could see these are activities that will be there to even harness and even turn around opportunities that turn around that devastation created by the climatic change and the flooding, the perennial flooding, to advantage for dry season farming. So in a sense, what we are doing here is we're trying to see who will partner with us to do whatever you want to do. If somebody has agreed in the southern states, Ogun State has already signified interest, and we'll go and visit what they have to offer. So it's there, it's all over, we're in touch with everybody. Just because I visited Jigawa does not mean they were not looking. We'll go to other places as well.
That's been our focus on 2023 World Food Day celebration in Abuja. Thanking you for watching. I'm Bilkisu Suleiman. Let's preserve and protect our source of water, which is life.